Now, how do you deal with sex offenders? Well, it's the question being asked in Miami in Florida, as a camp of convicted sexual offenders has sprung up, a gathering, if you like, of sexual predators living in what critics say are inhuman conditions, raising real concerns amongst the population. The difficulty is that registered sex offenders cannot live legally within 2,500 feet of a school, of a daycare or a playground. But that leaves them, well, with nowhere else to go as construction booms and the population grows. Well, Marion Lippman and Francois Weibo have this special focus report for us.
In Miami, this is known as the Hell Camp, temperatures reaching over 40 degrees Celsius. Here, the homeless hide from prying eyes. They've all been convicted of child abuse.
What you want, old man? Come on in here.
Greg spent 9 years in jail for child pornography. Since his release last year, his daily life has become a second sentence.
This is my house. It's a mess. We can get water around the corner here. Bathrooms are at Winn-Dixie, which is a little over a half a mile that way. If it's an emergency, you better hold it until you get there. My dogs that live up in Texas have a better life than I do.
In Miami-Dade County, sex offenders cannot live within 800 meters of any school, playground, or daycare. As a result, they're forced to live in makeshift tent camps in this industrial area. 270 sex offenders are registered here, like 75-year-old Isandro.
My niece has got a room over there that I could, but they say, no, we can't stay over there because it's in an area, you know, of school.
They're forced to stay here or else risk going back to jail, a situation many in the neighborhood find scary and worrying. Steve Grafton's designer furniture shop is located just 200 meters away from the slum. He says the number of customers visiting his shop is dropping dramatically.
My customers are afraid to drive by there. They ask me all the time, what is that? Many ladies that work here have to leave before it becomes nighttime because they're afraid that something is going to happen.
To find a solution and relocate the sex offenders, Miami appointed Ronald Book, the lobbyist who initiated the 800-meter rule in the first place. The struggle for him is a personal one. His daughter was raped when she was 11.
They committed a crime that our society has said, we're going to treat you different for the rest of your lives. And that's just the way it is. I don't want them living near where children congregate. I don't want them living near parks and playgrounds and daycare centers. I don't.
But Ronald Book doesn't approve of the unsanitary conditions at the camp. Split between his respect for human dignity and his will to protect children, he's been trying to find a place to relocate the sex offenders for 3 years. Yet few at the camp trust him.
Bullshit. I mean, they closed down as far as I'm concerned. They're the ones that put us out of here. The state, the county's the one that put us out of here. We're not here as the North Shore. They put us out of here.
Today, few people are prepared to defend sex offenders. Gail Coletta's son was convicted for child pornography and she became their spokesperson. She's asking for the repeal of the 800-meter rule.
It makes no sense. Some 19-year-old boy who had a consensual relationship with his 15-year-old girlfriend, he's on the registry. He's subject to all of the same restrictions as some 50-year-old guy who abducted, molested an 8-year-old. And they're completely different types of offenses, but they are treated the same.
But despite her fight, legislation could get even tougher. A legal ordinance could make the camps illegal. If approved, all those living there would have to find a new place to hide.